Let's tour this Marina-front Hawaii Kai home with a private boat dock and a pool. In the past 12 months, only 8 homes have changed hands in this entire pocket of Hawaii Kai, a small waterfront neighborhood called Spinnaker Isle. 8 total, across every status, active, sold, canceled, all of it, on a street where every single listing is worth well over $1 million. If you've been with me for this whole comparison between Hawaii Kai and Kailua, this is the third and final home in the series, and it's the one that actually explains why price alone was never going to tell you the full story. Spinnaker Isle sits directly on the water, all on one street, and once you see what that does to both the lifestyle and the numbers here, the first 2 homes in this series are going to make a lot more sense. This is also the priciest pocket of the 3 by a wide margin, which changes how everything from days on market to price negotiation actually plays out. Everything you're about to see here needs to be read against that backdrop. 8 sales in a year on one street at prices most of the island never touches.
This is the payoff of the whole series. A private pool that looks straight out over the marina, with a boat dock that's been recently redone, sitting on one of the larger lots in this pocket. Just under a quarter acre on a quiet cul-de-sac. Sunny days here look exactly like what you're seeing on camera, and that water view doesn't change whether you're standing at the pool, the dining area outside, or looking out from almost any room at the back of the house. This is also the kind of home built around a boat as much as a car, with the dock itself recently redone and ready to use. Beyond the water, there's a mountain view in the other direction. So depending on which way you're facing, this lot gives you both sides of what people move to Hawaii Kai for in the first place. If the only thing standing between you and a home like this is today's rate, here's the most useful thing I can hand you. There are nearly 100 homes across Oahu right now where a buyer can step directly into the seller's existing low-rate loan instead of taking out a new one, some of them locked in at 2 to 3%. It's free, and I'll tell you exactly how to get it before we wrap up. Now, about those 8 homes. This pocket is by far the thinnest traded of the 3 neighborhoods in this series. Cocoa Head Terrace saw 46 transactions over the same 12 months. Kalama Valley saw 43, and this pocket saw 8. Every one of those 8 sits on this same street, and every one is a multi-million-dollar home, which makes this the smallest, priciest, and most illiquid slice of Hawaii Kai we've looked at in this series. And the numbers here push back harder than anywhere else in this comparison. One home on this street sold for $2.075 million, but it took 2 cancellations to get there. Listed and pulled at $2.175 million, relisted and pulled again at $2.25 million, before finally closing below both of those earlier numbers. A third of everything that's come to market on this street in the past year has canceled without selling, the highest rate of any pocket in this series, compared to a quarter in Cocoa Head Terrace and about a fifth in Kalama Valley. The other sales on this street tell a more mixed story too. One home moved in about 5 weeks at $1.7 million, no drama at all, priced right and gone. Another took closer to 7 weeks at $2.45 million. And the biggest sale on this street, a 6-bedroom home over 6,000 square feet, sat for more than 9 months before it finally sold. And even then, the seller had to come to the table with a concession to get it done. So size alone doesn't move a home here any faster than anywhere else. If anything, the bigger and more expensive the listing, the more patience it seems to take. This home we're touring has been active for less than a month, which already puts it ahead of most of what's canceled on this street. Zoom out to the region level, and this pocket story fits into the bigger picture from this whole series. Over the past year, Hawaii Kai's median price has been sliding across the 3, 6, and 12-month windows, while Kailua's has climbed in every one of them. Hawaii Kai homes move a few days faster than Kailua once they're priced right. But that speed hasn't translated into rising prices the way it has on the other side of the island. New listings tell a similar story. Hawaii Kais are down over the past year while Kailua's are up. So fewer Hawaii Kai sellers have been willing to test this market. The sellers who do, especially at this price point, are finding buyers who've done their homework and won't just accept an asking price at face value. Put all of that together and the read on this pocket is simple. This is where Hawaii Kai's ceiling actually is. And it's a ceiling that gets tested, not assumed, sale by sale, on nearly every listing that comes through here. It's also worth saying plainly what that means if you're the one shopping this pocket. A property here priced right, with realistic expectations set from day one, is going to move faster and cleaner than one that leans on the water view to justify a number the comps don't support. The sellers who've had the roughest run on this street weren't necessarily wrong about the value of what they own. They were just early on the price, sometimes by a lot, and this market has not been forgiving about that the way it might be somewhere with more competition for the same buyer. Inside, the layout leans into that same water-first feel. Vaulted ceilings run through both living spaces, a detail that's typical for homes of this era in Hawaii Kai. And it's one of the best features in the house. It makes even a home with an unrenovated kitchen feel bright and open. Both living rooms share that same view out toward the pool and the marina, so the water follows you from room to room instead of staying out back. There's real separation between the two spaces too, so this isn't one big open room doing double duty. It's genuinely two distinct places to sit, which matters if you actually want to entertain in one and unwind in the other. Between the ceiling height and the water view on almost every wall, these rooms read a lot more spacious than the square footage on paper would suggest. Compare that to the last two homes in this series for a second. Poco Head Terrace was all new construction, open concept, everything connected into one space. Kalama Valley kept two separate living areas too, but without this kind of ceiling height or water view pulling your eye through the room. Here, the combination of the vaulted ceilings and the marina right outside does a lot of the work that a full renovation would otherwise have to do somewhere else on the island. The kitchen tells a different story than the rest of the house. It feels like it was built out further at some point, deeper than the original footprint probably allowed, which is part of why the flow between rooms here feels a little different than a typical 1960s Hawaii Kai layout. It hasn't been touched the way the living areas have. It's not updated, though it does still have a gas stove, which matters if you actually cook, plus a dishwasher and a double sink already in place. There's a second exit of the kitchen toward the courtyard, so you can keep it open and let the trade winds through, and a small pantry tucked to the side for extra storage. Compared to the last two homes in this series, this is the one kitchen that reads original. Poco Head Terrace was a full gut renovation, brand new everything, waterfall island and all. Kalama Valley landed in the middle, new appliances and flooring layered onto the original layout, but the same footprint. This one is the least touched of the three, and for a buyer, that's not necessarily a bad thing. This is a value-add opportunity, not a turnkey renovation. And the seller's own listing notes point to exactly that. Room to update the kitchen, the flooring, and the bathroom cabinets. On a lot this size, in a pocket this thin, that gap between what's finished and what isn't is where the real negotiating room lives. And it's worth remembering that the land underneath a home like this is doing the vast majority of the work on value. The same as it does almost everywhere on this island, renovated or not. It's worth sitting with why that matters here specifically. This isn't a starter home in an up-and-coming pocket. It's a multi-million-dollar waterfront property where the land and the location are already doing the heavy lifting on price. So an unrenovated kitchen reads less like a red flag and more like a chance to put your own stamp on the one part of the house that hasn't already been decided for you. And unlike a typical inland renovation, whatever gets updated here isn't competing with dozens of comparable kitchens across the pocket. There simply aren't that many to compare it to, which changes how a buyer should think about the return on that kind of investment in a market this thin. The primary bedroom keeps that water connection going with its own access out to the pool and a view that takes in both the pool and the marina at once. It has its own bathroom, double sinks, a shower, and a closet for storage. There are more bedrooms on the other side of the home, one that comfortably fits a queen bed with its own closet, sharing a bathroom down the hall that has a tub and a single sink, plus a linen closet nearby for extra storage. Two more bedrooms sit at the front of the home, similar in size, both big enough for a queen, and a couple of extra closets in that part of the house. Altogether, this is a 4-bedroom, 2.5-bath layout, with 2 additional family rooms, giving it more flexible living space than the bedroom count alone suggests. All inside just under 2,500 square feet on a lot that's nearly 10,000. Those extra family rooms are the kind of flex space that can work as a home office, a den, or just an overflow living area, depending on what you actually need day to day. Cooling here works differently than the last 2 homes in this series too. Instead of a split AC unit in every room like Cocoa Head Terrace, or the single new unit in the primary that Kalama Valley had, this home leans on whole house fans to move air through, paired with a 200-amp electrical upgrade that gives whoever buys this home real room to add more cooling later without rewiring the whole property first. It's a practical detail that doesn't show up in photos, but it matters if you're the one paying the electric bill every month. And it's exactly the kind of thing worth asking about on any home you're comparing against this one, on either side of the island.
And it doesn't stop there. This side of the home just keeps going. More closet space than you'd expect for a house this age, tucked into hallways and corners throughout. Compare that to the 6-bedroom, 6-bath home that sat on this same street for 9 months, and you can see the appeal of a layout like this one instead. 4 real bedrooms plus flexible family room space is enough house for most buyers without the carrying costs or the negotiating headaches that come with something that oversized in a pocket this thin. Every bedroom on this side of the home gets natural light through most of the day, and none of them back directly onto a neighboring property, easy to take for granted until you've toured a home without it. Taken together, the bedroom wing of this home is built around flexibility, which matters if how you actually use the space changes over time. A home office that becomes a guest room, a family room that flexes into something else entirely, depending on what you need this year versus 5 years from now. That kind of adaptability doesn't show up in a spec sheet, but it's exactly what separates a house you outgrow from one you can actually stay in. None of these bedrooms depend on the pool or the marina to feel like real living space either, which matters more than it sounds like it should. On a lot like this, it would be easy for a builder to treat the bedroom wing as an afterthought behind the water-facing rooms, but that's not what happened here. Back near the entrance, there's a half bath tucked right by the door, a small detail, but a genuinely convenient one for guests or anyone coming in straight from the pool without trekking through the rest of the house.
Storage carries all the way around this property, space built into the exterior for bikes, kayaks, anything you'd want to keep outside but out of the weather, and it continues nearly to the street. On a waterfront lot like this one, that kind of everyday storage is easy to overlook in photos, but it's the sort of thing that actually changes how livable a home like this is day to day, especially when the water and the dock are part of why you bought it in the first place. A boat and a couple of kayaks need somewhere to live that isn't the garage floor, and this property was clearly built with that in mind. It's a small thing compared to a pool or a private dock, but on a lot this size, having real dedicated space for the gear that goes along with waterfront living is exactly the kind of detail that separates a home you can actually use the way it was designed for from one where the water access ends up being more of a view than a lifestyle. It's the kind of feature that rarely makes it into a listing photo, but it's exactly the sort of thing that adds real practical value to a home like this when it comes time to actually live in it. So here's where this series actually lands. Cocoa Head Terrace showed you a market where renovation adds real repeatable value, the same play working again and again on the same few streets. Kalama Valley showed you a pocket that looked unstoppable in April and cooled off by August, without losing its actual appeal to buyers. And this pocket shows you what happens at the very top of Hawaii Kai, where the water itself is the asking price. And even multi-million-dollar sellers can't just name a number and expect buyers to meet it. 3 different price points, 3 different pockets, and the same lesson underneath all of it: know the actual data before you decide what a home like this is worth to you, whether you're comparing it against Kailua or against the house 2 streets over. If there's one thing this whole comparison should leave you with, it's that neither side of this island rewards guessing on price, on timing, or on which pocket actually fits what you're looking for. If today's rates are the only thing holding you back from a home anywhere in this comparison, there are nearly 100 Oahu homes right now where you can step into the seller's existing low rate instead of taking out a new one. Click the link in the description, drop your email, and I'll send you the full list, updated twice a month. I'm Oksana with Island Living Oahu. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.